Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
A magic beyond anything you could ever imagine.
You are now listening to the Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Sagrera Farms on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Locking down the middle of the day.
You really think that's the best idea?
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
He's quite a piece of work.
Hour 2, Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We are working towards the weekend. Appreciate you being with us. Busy hour number 1. If you missed any of it, catch it on demand. Hunt Palmer Show, wherever you find your podcast. Of course, on YouTube as well. In hour 1, we discussed LSU football's new schedule announcements, some windows for a few games in Southeastern Conference play that were made available. You can catch that on YouTube at Hunt on LSU. Also discuss the Saints with Luke Johnson. You can find that at Hunt on Saints, wherever you find your podcasts. OTAs now in the rearview mirror. We'll look forward to mandatory minicamp coming up here shortly, and as we inch towards training camp second by second. The College World Series does start tomorrow. Just got some information from Kendall Rogers, who's up there at the State of College Baseball press conference before the College World Series gets underway, and got word college baseball not looking to expand the tournament. They like it at 64. I just sent the, I guess that's Big Daddy when the drunk Jets fan in the bar goes, hell yes. Holds up his drink.
That's very niche.
That's exactly right. That's how I feel about that. Thank you for just standing pat. Basketball's going nuts. They got to have 100 teams in the tournament. Football's going nuts. They got to have 100 teams in the tournament. Baseball's like, we're good with 64. Appreciate y'all. Good on you, NCAA baseball. And we've gotten to the final 8 in this year's stanza. And tomorrow is kind of the undercard of the College World Series bracket. You're getting some real heavyweight hitters coming up on Saturday. 4 SEC teams. You'll have the first game, which is Oklahoma, Alabama, and then the night game, which should just be unbelievable, is Georgia and Texas. And I'll talk about those games tomorrow on Friday's show, but I want to talk about tomorrow's games here today because they'll start at 1 o'clock and then at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Troy and West Virginia, the first game. Ole Miss and North Carolina are the night game tomorrow. And I could give you a scouting breakdown of these teams, but I think y'all know this. LSU's got enough experience in that ballpark now. I can't help you unless I know what the wind's doing. If you recall, that ballpark was jumping in 2023. Like LSU and Florida were launching balls out of that place in the title series. Big home runs in game 1. BT Riopel with a huge swing. Cade Beloso with the extra inning shot. Dugas had homered previously in that game. Then on Sunday, in the game that Florida won, they scored 20 runs. Like Ty Evans hit the grand slam, but they were bashing homers everywhere. Caglione hit a couple. Langford went deep. Like home runs were flying. And then you get into game 3 on Monday, and right out of the chute, Wyatt Langford goes deep on Thatcher Hurd, and turns out LSU wasn't done either. Jobert goes deep, and like it was just there were so many balls flying out of the ballpark. Then you show up in 2025. I gave this as a trivia question this week at Court to Table on Tuesday. I'll give it to y'all. You're driving around right now. You may be listening on demand or whatever the case may be if you're by yourself. Answer this trivia question for me. Name all the players from LSU who hit a home run in the College World Series last year. Name them all. Give me every single one. I'll give you 4 seconds here to think about it. The answer is Jared Jones. That's it. He hit a couple, but he's the only guy that hit a home run. Jared Jones, by the way, is 6'5", 250 pounds. Okay, he's third all time in LSU with homers. He's got the most home runs of anyone in LSU history who only played 3 years. He's the only guy on the roster that hit a home run last year. Not Luis Hernandez, who hit a couple in regional play. He didn't get any home runs from your middle infielders. Milam had been hot. Didn't get any home runs from Derek Curiel. Jake Brown didn't go deep. Josh Pearson, no. He had hit one in 23. You got nothing other than Jones, and you were there the whole time. Played 5 games. So the park can play 2 different ways. I don't subscribe to the theory that you can't hit home runs in Charles Schwab Field. I've seen a lot of home runs, just not last year. So these teams like Troy is a physical team. They pride themselves on throwing hard and hitting homers. Well, if the wind blows, you're out of luck on that. Now, West Virginia is a little bit more solid. They play a little bit more fundamentally. They hit more line drives. they may be more at home. And I think West Virginia is just better than Troy. But Ole Miss is the interesting case here. Because I told y'all last week before the Supers, and I'm telling you again right now, that is my pick. Now, I don't know what the wind's going to do. If the wind whips in and they can't hit long balls, that makes life tough. And what I'm assuming tomorrow, they will see DeCaro from North Carolina, who threw a shutout last week against USC in Chapel Hill. He was brilliant. 9 innings, shutout baseball. He's really good. He was a freshman when LSU was there in Chapel Hill 2 years ago in 2024. And so if DeCaro's pitching and the home run ball is gone, that hurts Ole Miss. Now, they'll throw Hunter Elliott out there, and he's going to be a savvy vet. Like last week was such a Hunter Elliott outing. Hunter Elliott from Ole Miss last week goes out there. He walked more than he struck out. He didn't get deep into the game. He wasn't mowing through guys. But when they put guys on, Auburn did, he got them out. And that's just what Hunter Elliott's done in the postseason for 4 years now. He was doing that in 2022. And he's going to be gutsy out there, but North Carolina's better than Ole Miss, especially with DeCaro on the mound. And if the Rebels can't tap into that home run ball with Becerra, with Furness, Pano's swinging the bat really well, like obviously Utermark's a stud. But if they can't hit the ball out of the ballpark, then they're going to struggle to string hits together on DeCaro, and that may change things. The first thing Mike Bianco needs to do is the Jimmy Ott special tomorrow. He needs to give it the Jimmy Ott special. You wake up in Omaha, you walk outside, get a cup of coffee, and you see which way the flags are blowing. Because if Bianco gets his cup of coffee in the old Market District, or wherever he is tomorrow, and walks out there, they're playing at 6, and he sees those flags whipping out towards the Ferris wheel, oh, he's in business, baby. If those things are coming in off the river, trouble. Because Ole Miss needs to hit the long ball. I don't know what the wind's going to be, so I can't handicap this really well for you. But I'll tell you this. At 6 o'clock tomorrow night, Ole Miss and North Carolina are going to play. And they're going to throw 2 really good pitchers at them, and they've got rested bullpens that are ready to go, and Ole Miss is trying to get to Walker Hooks, and Carolina's got stallions back there in the bullpen. If the winner of that game at 6 o'clock tomorrow night is like the winner of LSU Arkansas last year, you are the big-time favorite to reach the championship series. Because I don't think Troy and West Virginia are here for the party for a long time. I think one of them's going 2-Q, and the winner is probably going to get beat on Sunday. But the winner of Ole Miss, North Carolina, is in the Garden spot. Now, Ole Miss does have the ability. So let's say Ole Miss loses tomorrow. They lose at 6 o'clock to North Carolina. They turn around, they got to play Troy on Sunday. Well, they'll throw Rabe at Troy. Well, Rabe may pitch tomorrow, but probably Elliott. Either way, you're going to have the other one in the next spot. And then Cade Townsend is ready for them when they need him on Tuesday. And by the time you play on Tuesday, when you got to come back and play Wednesday, which Ole Miss would with the loss, you've got Friday starter on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday's rest. He's ready to go. So Ole Miss, if you have 3 starters, which LSU has never gone up there with 3 starters, so I can't, aside from 2017, they did, but you never go up there with 3 starters. Ole Miss has it. And with the days off, they can survive. But it feels like North Carolina could really put a dent in Ole Miss if they can win the game tomorrow. So I'm pulling for North Carolina. We're guaranteed to get an SEC team in the final from the other side. My sincere guess is that's going to be the winner of Georgia-Texas, and I'll talk about that game tomorrow. Volantis against that lineup for Georgia is going to be incredible, must-see TV. And I've told y'all this a bunch of times over the course of this NCAA tournament the last 3 weeks. Like, I'm enjoying the heck out of it. I hope that we never get in this position again, but at this point, it's a 50-50 shot over the last 40 years whether or not LSU is still around. This is the time where most teams aren't around. And we're through that part of it. And now I think it's just entertainment. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. No SEC team's going to win the College World Series over the next 2 days, but there should be some really exciting baseball. I like Ole Miss to win the whole thing. I've said that a couple of times, but hopefully DeCaro and North Carolina can deal them a brutal blow tomorrow, kind of knock them off their axis and dispatch them. I'm for the Heels this week. That's my team. I don't think Troy or West Virginia can win, and the other 5 teams are SEC teams. So give me the Tar Heels overall. They got to start tomorrow with the 6 o'clock game against Ole Miss. I can't wait to watch on a Friday night in Omaha, Nebraska. Usually on Thursdays, we talk to Joe Healy. I texted Joe. I said, I know how wild media day is. You've got 8 teams practicing. You've got 8 teams doing press conferences. You got to do a lot of writing, press the NCAA press conference that's going on today. So we let him do his actual job instead of coming on with us. But I'm going to tap him on the shoulder at some point next week and get an update from up there in Omaha. But tomorrow, 1 o'clock, Troy in West Virginia, 6 o'clock, Ole Miss in North Carolina. I'm missing it this year, I promise y'all, but I can't wait to watch the College World Series, and we'll be talking about it probably one segment a day as we move forward Friday and into next week. Jay Johnson sat down with Michael Cauble at WBRZ. We hit some of that sound back in the first hour. We'll get to some more in the second hour, and this is about Jay Johnson having the last 2 weeks without preparing for any games. How has he used that to his advantage? We'll do that next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust, FABT.com is the website, but go see them. Go see them at First American Bank and Trust. You say, well, where is it? Well, I can't tell you exactly where it is because there are 25 locations, but you can find one pretty quickly wherever you are in Southeast Louisiana. They've been in our community for 116 years, since 1910, 25 locations, so there's always one near you. And this is the most important thing that I always tell you all about First American Bank and Trust, that the decisions made on your loans, commercial or personal, are made locally here in Southeast Louisiana. That means something. People that care about our communities are making decisions on your commercial loan. It's people you see at church, it's people you see at lunch, it's people whose kids go to school with yours. It's a community feel, but that doesn't mean they don't have the resources necessary to help you as a larger business. No, they have 25 locations. They've got resources. First American Bank and Trust. Check them out online at FABT.com or stop in one of those 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana. It's First American Bank and Trust.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
When I talk to you about Lifetime Roofing, obviously you think roofing. It's right there in the name, right? And you should, because they do an awesome job and can give you a lifetime workmanship warranty on a new roof. But it's not all they do at Lifetime Roofing. They also do professional installation of gutters, professional installation of siding, professional installation of windows. Anything on the exterior of your home that you'd like to freshen up, they can do it for you at Lifetime Roofing. And they got financing available, 0% up to 18 months. Even if you're doing a new roof and you have a deductible that you've got to meet, you can finance that as well at Lifetime Roofing. And as I mentioned, they can give you a lifetime workmanship warranty. They were so proud to announce that on January 1st of this year. And that warranty is backed up by Certainty, one of the oldest and most trusted names in building materials. You get that workmanship guaranteed through your warranty. You also get your materials guaranteed as well. It's Lifetime Roofing. You can check them out online at lifetimeroofingla.com. Lifetime Roofing online at lifetimeroofingla.com. Back in hour number 1, we were playing some sound bites from Michael Cauble's sit down with Jay Johnson, and I'm only hitting on a couple of the high points of Cauble's sit down with Jay Johnson. If you want to hear the entire thing, you can do that over at WBRZ.com and, of course, on YouTube as well at WBRZ Sports page. It's about a 25-minute sit down, and there's some really good stuff in there from Jay Johnson. I wrote a little bit about it at LouisianaSports.net, and we've talked about it on the show in a previous segment. And we'll continue here. Jay Johnson's never missed the tournament at LSU. That's not something he's done a lot of in his coaching career, is miss the NCAA tournament. But he has been allowed now to focus entirely on the roster for 2027, as he's not preparing for games in regional, super regional, or College World Series play. And he spoke about not wanting to do it, but it's certainly something he's taking advantage of.
Well, I will tell you something I've learned in the last month is how different it is doing this while not playing versus playing till the last game of the season. And I never will ever make that an excuse. I think it's the most first world problem ever. Sign me up for it.
Sure, right.
Sign me up for it every single year. But the thought power that I put into having our team prepared to play on game day, that's always going to be number one. And while you're doing that, to play at this program some of the most significant games that have ever been played in the history of the program while you're trying to accrue what you need for the next season, I never would ever use it as an excuse, but I have learned how different it is to do this while you're not playing versus while you're playing, and the difference is significant. And with that being said, I think we as a staff can collaborate on that exclusively, make great decisions, communicate with the players and the families, because there's a lot more to being a fit here than just being a guy that can hit homers or a guy that can defend or a guy that throws a couple pitches for strikes. The character, the makeup, the mindset, all of those things have to be in place to truly excel, execute to get where we've been. And it's not a simple and a straight path all the time. So I'd much rather be preparing to leave for Omaha tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I've now learned the difference while doing this, not playing while playing.
And look, it's kind of obvious, and there are some that might roll their eyes at it because you got a chance if you can make a super regional and host it, that you can host transfer visits during a super, which we'll talk about here in a second. But obviously, this is not something you want to happen. But if it does, you might as well take advantage of it. And what LSU has done is sign 3 of the top 15 players in the portal to this point, the top hitter and the top pitcher to this point, because they've got the opportunity to devote all their resources towards that. You don't have to sidestep recruits because you're out practicing. You don't have to sidestep recruits because you're preparing to scout a pitcher or a bullpen. You don't have to devote your attention to anything other than the guys you're trying to get in the door. And things happen very quickly in the transfer portal. You can think you've got a guy. He can get on the phone with somebody else. They can offer something different. And if you're not there to counter because you're paying attention to something else, you're on a plane to Omaha or you're playing a super regional game or you're in the College World Series, like it can get by you. And I'm not suggesting that definitely happened last year, but I am suggesting that he's got a lot more time to focus on this. And the results are manifesting in the guys that he's signed up. He spoke further about this freed up 3 weeks he has.
Yeah, I think it's much better. Again, I don't like the circumstances of it being around not playing. And so I think having a process in place, which we've been pretty good at. I think I don't want to forget the fact that we recruited Luke Holman and Gage Jump while we were winning the 2023 national championship. I don't want to forget the fact that, we recruited Michael Braswell during that time, who then also became a national champion. So it's doable. It's much harder. I think about the super regional game last year in West Virginia at the box. This is one of the best atmospheres I've ever seen in my entire life. And, we had a couple of really prominent recruits here during that time that did not pick us, that posted at other schools in the SEC.
Wow.
It's a challenge, and it's not for a lack of effort, but the detail in which you can do this part of it while not preparing for games it's significant.
And look, I can tell you for certain, Landon Mack was one of those recruits. He was at Rutgers. He was one of the top right-handers in the portal. He was Tennessee's second starter this year. He chose Tennessee. He was here in Baton Rouge for the Super Regional and chose Tennessee as LSU was coming back from Omaha after winning a national championship. And, it's a little bit easier for Tony Vitello, who was there at the time. Tony Vitello didn't leave until the fall for the Giants, so he was still there. It's just easier for him to devote that after they lose the Super Regional to Arkansas and Fayetteville. Like, he can sink his time into that. And Jay Johnson's trying to beat West Virginia. He's trying to beat Arkansas and beat UCLA and beat Arkansas and beat Coastal Carolina and deal with other things in the transfer portal. And I can't tell you exactly why they didn't get Landon Mack, but he's telling you right now that he feels like there may have been a time issue. And I don't know if Aiden Robbins was at the Super Regional or not. I do know that LSU was recruiting Aiden Robbins really hard. And if you don't know who Aiden Robbins is, because LSU didn't play Texas this year, he went to Texas. And I will read you Aiden Robbins' stats at Texas this year. The guy that LSU was looking at out of the transfer portal. He comes from Holyoke. He transferred into Texas, and you're looking at a guy who this year is hitting .342 with 24 home runs for Texas. And that's a guy that LSU wanted to get. And he was at Seton Hall last year and transferred, and you couldn't get him. And again, I don't know how much of that is time, how much of that is lack of funds, but what I know is that LSU went toe-to-toe with Texas for Bino Waters, and they won this time. Maybe it's both. Maybe it's neither. It's just circumstances. But I'm telling you what has happened. And LSU's having more success in the portal this year than they did. Now, the question is, how do you make sure your Texas State shortstop translates, your Gonzaga right-handed pitcher translates, like Aiden Robbins, who was at Seton Hall, translates to Texas, like Danny Dickinson and Luis Hernandez translate up, but your guys this past year didn't. And Jay Johnson kind of spoke about what they're looking to do.
Really tried to advance myself analytically and built, kind of my own priority model and try to make sure we get, more of a Major League Baseball type evaluation on the players, but made it real specific on translating players from smaller schools to the SEC. It's called Operation Danny Dickinson. And so I would never have had time to do that without, if we were still playing. And I know everybody wishes we were still playing, and nobody wishes we were still playing more than Jay Johnson. Like, it's almost like I have to use this as a distraction to kind of whatever you call more in the season. And if we lost in a regional final or a super regional, like, it would be the same way. So this is my coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Operation Danny Dickinson. I've said this a bunch of times. People have asked me about the LSU transfers this past year. On a stat sheet, you would be hard-pressed to tell the difference between Braden Simpson and Daniel Dickinson at High Point for Simpson and Utah Valley for Dickinson. Now, Dickinson got some Team USA attention, was thought of as a better prospect, but they had played multiple years at smaller schools, had hit for very high averages, has hit a lot of home runs, had stolen a lot of bases, played on the infield. They have similar profiles. Again, Dickinson was thought of as a better prospect, so they're not the exact same. But one of them came in and was exceptional. The other came in and couldn't help. And you've got to get that right. There's not a huge difference between Zach York and Luis Hernandez. York was a more prolific hitter at Grand Canyon than Hernandez was at Indiana State. And Hernandez came in, was a really good defensive catcher, but hit. He didn't hit 380 with 21 homers, but he hit 270. He hit some crucial long balls. Had the swing against Arkansas that was hit on the screws that, the left fielder should have caught. Davalon's got to make that catch if you're an Arkansas fan, but he didn't. And Hernandez hit that ball hard. He translated, and York didn't. There's not a huge difference on the stat sheet, and neither of those guys are huge prospects. Now, somehow Hernandez popped into AAA this past week, but he wasn't even drafted. So you've got to get those right. And Jay Johnson's saying he's got some analytics and he's got some things that he's looked at, Operation Danny Dickinson, that's going to make sure he gets that right moving forward. And that's very important. And if this is the reset, he needed to get that done. Well, I hated it, but it might have been necessary. And it might turn out to be positive. I don't know. At this point, it could be sunshine and roses. We were telling you how great this team was March 1st. It didn't work. So I'm trying to be guarded as well. But I understand what he's saying. I understand what it is they're trying to do when you look at the ads that they've gotten. And I think that this may have been a wake-up call. Not that he was asleep, but that he figured some things out. Like, oh, okay. To move this program forward. And I mean this. There's no one I would trust moving forward to get it right more than him. Again, if you want to listen to that entire soundbite, like I played you 6 bites, which probably totaled 6 minutes. There's 25 minutes of that interview on YouTube at WBRZ's YouTube channel. So go check that out. Great sit down from Michael Cauble. We appreciate him for letting us use a little bit of that sound, for one, for the show, and two, for the story I wrote at LouisianaSports.net. You can check that out for free. But go watch Cauble sit down with Jay Johnson. I mentioned this in the first hour, but I'll do it again to kind of put a bow on this. There's a great moment, like 2 or 3 minutes into the sit down, where Cauble's asked Jay a question. Jay's answering the question, and in the middle of Jay's answer, his phone rings, and he looks down, pops right out of the chair, is like, "Hold on," and walks off the set. And Cauble goes, "Okay, well, we knew this could happen. Jay's fielding phone calls, transfer portal's open, whatnot. We'll be back with more in a second." And then it cuts. And then it comes back in, and Jay's sitting back down, and Cauble kind of looks at him and goes, "So, I know you're not going to tell us anything, but," and this is on camera. He's like, "So, is it good news? Happy with that?" And Jay Johnson kind of looks at him and real confident goes, "Very happy." And we very much believe that was the Bino Waters commitment during the sit down with Cauble. So if you'd like to see that and don't want to watch 25 minutes, I enjoyed the 25 minutes. I watched it twice. But if you want to just see that moment, it's in the first 2 or 3 minutes of that sit down. So great stuff from Cobble, and we appreciate him letting us use some of that sound here on this Thursday. We're brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. When we come back, got 30 minutes, close things out here.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, online at fabrychevrolet.com. The entire inventory is there, and June is an awesome, awesome, awesome month to get into a truck at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. They got great deals all month long. 2026 Chevy Silverado, 0% APR financing for 36 months, now until the end of the month. 2026 GMC Sierra 1500s, they're 2.9% financing for 5 years. That is 72 months now until the end of June. And if you'd like to get a Chevy Trailblazer, maybe a Chevy Trax, they're as low as $30,000. And you'll have a great buying experience at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Start online. See the entire inventory right there. Sort however you'd like to by make and model, price, mileage, new, pre-owned. All that's right there on the website. But go see them, Highway 61 in St. Francisville, and see why the Fabry family has had success in this market for 35 years, because their customer service is second to none. Go have that wonderful buying experience on Highway 61 in St. Francisville at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. They're online at fabrychevrolet.com.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Thursday show is brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. Best beef you're going to find anywhere around here. Look, as you know, beef prices are very, very high. That's because herd levels are as low as they've been since the 60s. We've got considerably larger population than we did then. Supply and demand indicates that price is going to go up. But is the quality of the product going up? No, it's not. It's just mass produced. So when you go pick up beef wherever you buy your beef, you may be getting thousands of DNA in that 1 pound of ground beef that you get. Do you know if it's been improperly used with antibiotics? Do you know if there have been steroids added? Do you know where it came from? Do you know what the quality level is? You know what the price tag says. You're paying a premium price. What kind of product are you getting? You can get a premium product at Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef right north of Baton Rouge. And you can get a whole cow. You can get a side. You can get a quarter in your freezer so that when it's time to go burgers, you got your ground beef right there, and it is prime. When you got time for steaks, ribeyes, strips, fillets, flank steaks, they got you. Briskets, chuck roasts, Sagrera Farms, prime every single time. I told you this in the first hour. Sean had 20 cattle ultrasounded on his farm this week. 19 graded prime. Prime is 8 on the IMF scale. He has multiple cows on that farm right now that are 18s, 19s. Got a lot of 15s. Double the standard of prime right now on the farm at Sagrera Farm. So give Sean a call. I give you his phone number every single week. Say, hey, I heard about your stuff on Hunt's show. Can we talk about it? You'll go up to the farm. You'll see what he's got. There's some exciting new news coming from Sagrera Farms, by the way. And you can get some of the best beef you've ever had in your life. And it'll be at your freezer. Call them at 225-719-1723. That's 225-719-1723. It's Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. All right, we play the hits here on this station. We generally speaking stick with LSU and the Saints, and we have done that for an hour and a half today. Let's just take a quick detour here with one segment to go before we get to take it or leave it and talk about what we witnessed last night in the Garden. Maybe the Knicks win the next game, and maybe they win in 5, and that wouldn't necessarily become one of the greatest finals of all time, right? You got to go 6-7 games to become an all-timer. But what we're experiencing right now is captivating the country. I mean, New York City's on fire. I mean, the city is ablaze at this point. You've got every celebrity you've ever seen on every music video, every stand-up comedy circuit, every movie, every artist that you've ever seen is courtside. You've got a unique talent in Victor Wembanyama. You've got a Knicks team that had a ridiculous playoff run, that had it snapped at home, surprisingly, then got down by $1 billion last night and found a way to fight their way, with De'Aaron Fox's help, all the way back and win the game in dramatic fashion. And the scene last night in Madison Square Garden, even on television, was truly remarkable. Truly remarkable. And I've said this about the Knicks being good and being in the finals. There are some venues in American sport that just pop because we, one, know what they represent, and two, can see visual differences in those as opposed to other places. And all respect to Orlando or Oklahoma City or Phoenix, even Chicago or Dallas, big markets. The Garden in New York City is different than all those. It's like Wrigley Field and Fenway Park are different than playing at Oriole Park at Camden Yards or Globe Life Field or Daikin Park or Tropicana Field. Like it's just a better setting. It means more if you're playing at Dodger Stadium or Fenway Park or Wrigley Field. If you're at Lambeau, that just has a more pronounced feel to it. The frozen tundra, all the history there, unless you're playing in Baltimore. It just does. And this Knicks have been so bad for 3 decades, and now they're good again, and the Garden is on fire, and that's just a better, it may not be louder than Oklahoma City, maybe it is, but it's just a better television product for us as American sports fans. And you're getting it at full throat. You got it at full throat as they were trying to go 3-0 and basically slam the door, and you got it last night as they were shell-shocked by falling behind by 30, and then all of a sudden, here they come, and the Spurs start jacking up threes, and the Knicks just start chipping away, and then De'Aaron Fox starts doing whatever it is he's doing, and then they have a chance to hold the ball and get fouled, and they drive to the bucket, get it blocked by Anunoby, and the Knicks do what the Knicks did. And it was incredible theater. I'm not going to pretend like I've been locked in on the NBA playoffs. I'm not going to pretend to break down all the action like I'm the NBA expert here. We haven't talked NBA on this show all year. But I can speak to American sports. And what you're watching here is like the Red Sox winning that World Series in 2004. It's like the Cubs winning in 2016. The drought is not that long. It's long, but it's not quite that long. But it's that city, it's that venue, it's that franchise, it's that fan base, and it's the feel you get from watching it. And last night was remarkable television. And the NBA needed it. You haven't had this kind of buzz in an NBA Finals in I don't know how long. Like, I watched a lot of the NBA Finals last year because it was coinciding with the College World Series, and I was literally living above a sports book. I was in that sports book doing my show. After my show, I ate dinner in there most nights. I was watching the College World Series in there a lot, and the NBA Finals was on, and I was watching a lot. This is 6x that, at least, from a television product. And I like watching the Thunder play. I'm not one of those that hates watching the Thunder play. I'm okay with them playing really good defense and driving, and they draw fouls. And I realize it's not for everybody, but I don't hate the Thunder. A lot of people do. This is way better. And last night was high drama and a huge feather in the cap to the NBA. Jordan, you watched it all year long. I mean, give me your thoughts on what we saw last night. It was historic. It
was the quintessential, they are just too young. They are too young.
Yeah, they're young.
They're young. They're not there yet. They will get there. We'll see. You know, the NBA, everybody thought that Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Thunder were going to run the NBA for years to come. So just because you get there doesn't mean you're going to make it back. But that was the quintessential. They're too young. Between Wemby choking those free throws at the line, even though De'Aaron Fox
with Fat Joe dancing next to him, like it's just the scenes on television are incredible.
No, it was actually cinematic. So my dad is a Knicks fan, right?
Okay.
So they won the championship when he was 3 years old or something like that. So like this is like everything to him. And I turned the game off in the second quarter when they were down by like 1 million. I'm like, yeah, forget all this. I'm walking the dog. I'm about to go walk the dog outside. My dad's like, yeah, you watching the comeback? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, and he flips the channel. The Knicks are coming. Jalen Brunson like hits a shot to tie the game. I'm like, they came back.
Yeah.
And right when I'm out there watching the game with him, Wemby at the line, chokes the free throws, and the look on his face after he missed that first free throw and he's about to shoot the second one. There was
it's Wemby, a lonely place.
Hunt. He would have rather been anywhere else in the world but on that free throw line.
Line's a lonely place.
And we're talking about an all-time big man free throw shooter. Like Wemby's a great free throw shooter for a big man. Choked both those free throws, and that was just the quintessential. They are just too young. They're not there. It was a
gag.
Yet.
You shot 8 threes in 9 attempts.
Why are you shooting threes and you're up 30 points?
You're missing. You're going too quick. You're not holding the ball at the end when you need to. The shot clock's off.
The one vet you have did that. The one
Shot
bet.
clock's off. What are we doing? Draw a
Hold the
foul.
ball.
Go to
Hold
the
the ball.
line. And he didn't do it. And it's just and sometimes I wonder about playing on the road and playing again at home. This is an interesting thought that I have.
Okay, let me
it's
hear it.
probably stupid, but I'm like, why is it so much more difficult to play on the road than at home? It's the same court. The fans don't come out there.
Yeah.
Like, why is it so much harder? Like, you're just spurred on by people being loud, and it's decision making. They made bad decisions thinking about that as opposed. It's a stupid thought, but it's like,
No, it's not stupid at all.
the game's not any different.
No, it's not
just
stupid at all.
louder when you have the ball. I get why it's hard to play football on the road.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell 10 other people
what to
the
do.
play is
Yeah.
and when to start. In basketball, you hold up some fingers or you get into a set and you just go. And like, same thing. And it's just really hard to play.
It's the moment.
The biggest home field advantage in sports is college basketball.
Yeah.
And it just shouldn't be that big a difference, but it certainly mattered last night. And look, the home team is 1-3 in these finals so far, so it hadn't mattered that much, but it certainly did in that game back last night. Classic stuff from the Garden, so we'll see if the Knicks can finish it off and become the champs for the first time in a long, long time. Thursday show is brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. We'll close this one out next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One bath, no, not one bath and closet. It's Ochsner. Friends over at Ochsner telling you all Jew long, whether you're an athlete or just trying to stay active, Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute can help get you moving, and they can keep you moving. You got access to the highest level of specialized care, nationally around expertise, got the latest equipment, modern facilities, including a convenient walk-in orthopedic clinic. That's Elite Training Complex right there on Burbank. If you need care fast, stop into Elite. They can take care of you. From the field to recovery, Ochsner Andrews Institute is there to help move your healing forward and get you back to what you love to do. So if you've got a sprain, a strain, minor dislocations, sports injuries, or maybe sudden or ongoing non-spine related musculoskeletal pain, you can learn more at ochsner.org/brortho. That's ochsner.org/brortho.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Again, our Thursday shows brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. Give Sean a call. I'll give you his phone number right here. Get your phone out. If you want some of the best beef in the country, you can call or text Sean at 225-719-1723. That's 719-1723. I know some of y'all were out at City Club in downtown Baton Rouge last night. Had a great event that Sean was a part of. I've told you a lot of times that there's only two places you can get Sagrera Farms beef. It's at Sagrera Farms or Supper Club. That's it. Well, last night, City Club was an option for you. And I know that event went exceptionally well. You can tell the difference. We don't eat any other beef in our house besides Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. You want to make that change, give Sean a call. Shoot him a text, 225-719-1723. All right, Jordan, I'm gonna have to shock you here.
I'm listening.
I was wrong.
What happened?
I was wrong. I thought in the offseason that the Cubs had the division on lock. I thought there's no way the Brewers can trade their ace and beat the Cubs, who went and got an additional starting pitcher, are getting healthier, and went and got Bregman. Like, this is clearly the best team in the division. And I was right for a while. The Cubs were 27-12 on May the 8th. They were 15 games over 500 on May the 8th. They had two 10-game win streaks. They won 14 games in a row at Wrigley Field.
Yep.
Since then, they are 7-22. 7-22.
I hate to say it, Hunt. I just watched y'all lose to the Rockies a couple times.
Yeah, and the Rockies are atrocious.
Yeah.
And Coors Field is the easiest place to hit in the game, and we scored 2 last night in 10 innings. And the Cubs are atrocious. They're a terrible baseball team. Their entire pitching staff got hurt. All 5 guys in the rotation got hurt. Everybody in the lineup is awful. Bregman's hitting 200. Dansby Swanson's hitting like $150. It's atrocious, and they're not going to go to the playoffs. And then they're going to have a lockout next year, and then Dansby Swanson's going to be like 32, and Bregman's going to be 32, and Justin Seals going to be 32, and Seiya Suzuki's going to be gone. Yeah, PCA's young, and Nico's pretty young, but that's it. And it's really bad. It's a bad summer for me. LSU baseball did nothing to help me. The Cubs are doing nothing to help me. I went to sleep when the game was in the 9th inning last night. Cubs were tied. I knew I was tired. I'll wake up and check the score when Myers starts yelling in the monitor. That happened at 1:15 a.m. I checked the phone. 3-2 Rockies. Started sweating in my bed. I was mad. Took me 30 minutes to go back to sleep. And you might say to yourself, Hunt, that's an unreasonable thing.
No, not
it's
the
just
Rockies.
the Cubs. The Cubs are not very good this year. Don't get ticked off at 1 o'clock in the morning in your bed in the dark that the Cubs lost. Well, unfortunately, I don't have control over that. I just get mad. And I was fuming mad in my bed last night at 1:15 a.m. because the Cubs can't beat the freaking Rockies, who suck out loud. And they're about to get swept. 3 innings into this game, the Cubs 9 up, 9 down. The Rockies can't pitch to anybody, and it's Coors Field. Get a hit. Hit a homer. It's a mile in the air. Now I'm mad again. 13 hours later, here we are.
Well, I hate to do this to you.
That's what this
Hunt.
team does.
Hate to do this to you, but
I'm calling it right now. No, I saw this last night. I'm sitting on the couch,
this was January.
and the Brewers traded their ace, Freddie Peralta. There is no way the Brewers can beat the Cubs this year.
Oh, don't
No
do
way.
This. Don't do this.
No way.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
They get rid of every good player they have.
Don't do this.
The Cubs are adding good players, added a former Cy Young finalist, added a 2-time World Series champ, Bregman. They're bringing back Justin Steele. The Cubs cannot lose to the Brewers this year.
Okay.
The Brewers are actually trying to lose.
Okay. I'm gonna clip this. I have the other one clipped, so I'm gonna just stack these up,
It
and then
just
we'll
can't
revisit
happen.
this in October.
I'm just not willing to.
Didn't even make it to October, Hunt.
We made it to June 11th. The Cubs are 8 games behind the Brewers. 8!
That's
The
brutal.
Brewers, by the way, who traded away their ace, have Mizorowski throwing the most 100-mile-an-hour pitches than every other team in the league. And they got this other guy, Harrison, who nobody can hit. He's left-handed. He strikes everybody out. They find these guys under rocks, and they're just better than the Cubs every year. They pay their entire roster like $150 total. The Cubs are spending $200 million, and the Cubs can't do anything. It's a joke.
I'm sorry, man.
You don't sound sorry at all. You sound thrilled. You sound jovial back there.
Well, I had
I'm
the clips.
dying over here.
I had the clips ready.
I'm dying every night trying to watch this team. Can't beat the freaking Rockies or the A's. The Giants are terrible. Vitello got no shot. They got beat by the Giants in the series. Now they're going out to San Francisco tomorrow. They'll probably get swept again. This team bites. Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
Well, since you're already fired up, I gotta fire you up a little bit more with this one. All right. So Texas Tech mega booster Cody Campbell spoke out about teams wanting to boycott Texas Tech. He said, and I quote, "We're a target. If this had happened to LSU, people will say, it's LSU, but it's at Texas Tech. They don't want to play us because they know Sorsby is good. They don't want us to be competitive. So with LSU not get any hate with Sorsby and Lane Kiffin, take it or leave it."
Source being lit. I mean, I don't know. People are saying that Texas Tech's more hated than LSU now. I'll take it.
Take it. I'll take it.
But look, you still got Will Wade. You still got Lane Kiffin. You still got Jeff Landry talking. There's a lot of people nationally who aren't looking with doting eyes on those of LSU. So we'll see. But I don't really worry about that. Let's just win some games.
All right, so members of the San Antonio Spurs didn't receive a hospitable reception as they arrived to their hotel after blowing the largest lead in NBA Finals history to the Knicks last night, as Knicks fans who were gathered outside the building were throwing eggs at Victor Wembanyama, hitting him in the head. He kind of flashed out a little bit. So are Knicks fans getting out of hand? Take it or leave it.
Probably take it. I mean, we can't be throwing eggs at people if that's real.
Oh, it's real.
Can't be ripping trees down. It's, people need to chill out a little bit. Mob mentality, as they say.
It's mob mentality.
But look, there's only so much you can do. It's a lot of people, and there's a lot of alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
And probably other stuff.
And he's 7'5". It's kind of a big target.
It just is what it is. I've said this many times. You just can't really expect people to behave properly when it comes to these types of events. There's a lot of people that are in their young 20s. There's a lot of people who are doing a lot of drinking. It's just going to be bad decision making, and that's just kind of part of it. And that's what I think about the LSU student section when they They cannot live with themselves if they don't go into the stadium and yell vulgarities. Like, it would just be a disaster if they couldn't yell. If they couldn't yell vulgarities at the end of every song, it would just it'd be a ruined football game, and that's just what they think about things. So expecting them to change is unreasonable.
So that's it for Take It or Leave It.
That's it for Take It or Leave It. Missed any of the show today? A lot of discussion from Michael Cauble. Sit down with Jay Johnson. Also talked a little bit about LSU's football schedule. You can find that at Hunt on LSU. We got some time slots there. Luke Johnson, good enough to join us to talk some Saints OTAs. That's at Hunt on Saints. Missed any of the entire show? All the full shows are archived on demand. Search Hunt Palmer Show or wherever you find your podcast, of course, on YouTube as well. That's it for us. Matt's going to drive you home next on After Further Review. We're back tomorrow. Same time, same place. Have a safe Thursday. It's Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Now it's time for One Bath and Closets. You can certainly find them online at onebathandclosets.com. When I say bathroom renovations and remodels, David Ball has been at that for 35 years. But it doesn't have to be a full-scale remodel. Like, they can do that. They're happy to. You want to do all the floors, rip out the tub, put in a new shower, rip out all that, they can do. They can handle vanities. But that sounds invasive. It sounds time-consuming, and maybe that's not what you're into at this very juncture. Maybe you just need something simple, and they do tub-to-shower conversions all the time. If you've got one of those big 90s-style tubs, it's got all the jacuzzi nozzles everywhere that you never use, and it's taking up a ton of space in your bathroom that just doesn't go used, take it out. Put in a gorgeous glass walk-in shower and completely change the look, the feel, the aesthetic, and the functionality of your bathroom. You can do that with David Duvall, One Bath and Closets. Financing options are available, 0% for 18 months. Check out the website, onebathandclosets.com, onebathandclosets.com.